Hi, everyone. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you to Goa Fest and to everyone who brought me here. And it's really been a privilege. So I'm going to start this morning by telling you a little bit about my story and how it is that I got here. My story is not a very easy story to hear, but it is my story, so I'm going to tell you. I've been in advertising for over 25 years. I've had my own agency for that long, for the most part. And I became a mother in 2002 with my daughter Lily, and in 2004 with my daughters Grace and Sarah. And this is a 20-minute talk, and so I'm not going to go into a lot I'm actually not going to go into any detail, except to tell you that being a mother was the best part of my life. And my children were killed in a fire in 2011. And my parents were also killed in the same fire, trying to save them. And I was in the house, but I couldn't save them. And so if you ever wonder if you have any control of this life, let me tell you that you don't, that a mother trying to save her children and not being able to walk through fire in order to do that is a very extraordinary thing. I've had a lot of strange miracles in my life. Obviously, being, even in India is one of them. My major in college was Chinese, and I ended up in advertising, and so somehow I got to go to Fest. But I want to tell you a little bit about something that happened to me while I was here in India, and I'll make it really quick so I can move on to the core part of my presentation today, which is Women, Not Objects. I have a brilliant copywriter named Sneha Shilpa, who is here with me today, and she is from a city named Indore. Okay, in India. So Indore is not a tourist city. I don't know if you guys know that. It's probably not a tourist city. It's really a pretty city, but it does have a wonderful place called Mahakalaleshwar. Does everybody know what that is? Did I actually say that right? And so last Monday, I went to this Shiva temple in Indore. I mean, it's so random, I can't even explain how it is that I got there, but anyway, it was a very emotional and intense experience going into this temple. But really the fun started that night when I went to sleep. And I had these incredible visions, which I wish I could tell those visions to you because they're actually probably so much more interesting than this presentation, quite frankly. But anyway, because they were amazing. And but I just want to leave with you what it is that the vision said to me, that suffering is everywhere. And so the question becomes, do we heal with our suffering or do we bring more pain? The second part of the vision, it wasn't like, it was this big blue guy that had wavy black hair, and he held open a curtain and for me to kind of come in and do all these, and go through all these different sort of movies. So I can't tell you how I got there, but the second one was, there are no gurus and there are no answers. The third one was, we are all deal makers, and we just have to try to be good swindlers. And I thought that was so perfect for advertising, and that we had to laugh about it. And the fourth one spoke really strongly to me, obviously, was that good mother, bad mother, there's no judgment, there's no such thing. So the next morning I woke up and I was crying, not like a little crying, like, like couldn't stop crying. And I texted Sneha and I was like, what do I do? And she said, you have to write them down. And so I wrote them down, and like my heart lifted when I wrote them down. And so I feel like this has been my gift from India and my gift from Indore. And so I want to thank this amazing country for what you guys just gave me. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about Women Not Objects. And so basically after the fire, I knew I wanted to go back to work, but I didn't want to just do something standard. I wanted to do something that meant something. And so through a lot of different studies and understanding what was really happening, what we started to understand was that 1 in 4 7-year-olds have been on a diet in the United States. So 1 in 4 little girls by the time they're 7 years old. Over 1 million girls have anorexia, and the suicide rate is highest in this sort of disorder for little girls. Little girls also say that at 11, they say that 80% of them say that they would rather have cancer than be fat. And so putting all of this together led Jim and I, my partner, to really want to do something for the world. And, you know, the interesting thing about what I'm talking about, it doesn't have specific plumbing. I was the senior art director at Calvin Klein and did the Kate Moss campaign. I did the Marky Mark campaigns. You know, I made Kate Moss skinnier. I gave Marky Mark, you know, bigger woo-ha-ha and nice abs. You know, I really was in there doing that. I did that with a lot of my own beauty clients. And so this isn't something that takes a certain gender to do. This isn't about a he or she. This is about wanting to sort of take care of all of our girls and women. So this film is our first film that we did, and essentially, you know, the belief system that we have, and I think all of us have, is that women and men are equal. But that objectification is a way of making women less than equal. It's sort of a strange, awkward word, and I wish it was sort of an easier word, but it's basically treating women like things. And so throughout this film, you're going to see some examples, and you're also going to see where we gave voice to the voiceless.
What is a thigh gap?
When you're standing straight up, there's like a gap in between your thighs. Girls just don't want their thighs to touch.
No. The Kylie Jenner challenge has gone viral. Doctors warn it can cause a number of issues.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
We raise our little girls to view their bodies as projects to constantly be improved.
Advertising often trivializes battering, sexual assault, and even murder.
Cologne continues to speak of up to 1,000 men groping women on New Year's Eve.
I just think that it's harming women psychologically, physically, mentally, socially.
You released a video anonymously on YouTube.
Yes.
I wish I could play the whole video here because it's incredibly powerful.
I love giving blowjobs to sandwiches.
I hope when my daughter grows up that she has friends just like these.
The key to my heart? A man that smells like a vagina.
I'd sell my body for a burger.
The viral video her agency created has exploded on social media. Badger is calling on industry colleagues to stop using images that objectify women and girls.
In a world where we hear over and over again, sex sells, can you make a difference? Can you get the rest of the industry to go along with this?
I stand up for my sister and my mom.
Girls are growing up thinking that how they look is more important than how they feel or who they are and what they can do.
So we do have a website called Women Not Objects, but I want to take you through really quickly what are the 4 filters, just so that you know what, am I objectifying, am I not? So the first one is a prop. So it's where a woman has no narrative. She has no control in the situation, and it's being controlled by somebody else. Here she's been literally made into a cut of meat. Obviously, she is a prop. Here she's talking about, she's being used as a prop to advertise a car and being compared to the idea of, some kind of a sex toy or something like that. These are all real ads that have run in the past 5 years, and that's also true of the film that you saw. Body parts. So usually using a woman's body part and sexualizing it in some way. Here is one that was pulled off of Instagram. This is for vapes. Does anybody here vape? You guys know about vaping? It's like smoking, but kind of worse for you. And here, evidently, this is where you smoke them. I didn't know that was true until I saw this ad. And then this is a horrible ad for an XXL condom, where they're actually putting Band-Aids along the woman's mouth. And then finally, in terms of visual ones, is plastic. So plastic is when, this is it's a very old example, but it's a very classic one, where this is the ad that ran on your left. This is what it used to look like. And if a woman had been retouched, if this was a real woman, she couldn't even hold up her head. That's how small they had made her body frame. This idea of whitening and lightening, like Julia Roberts doesn't even look like this in normal life. So why are we doing this from an advertising standpoint? And J-Lo has never looked like this. She looks like an alien. And no one has this kind of hair. So, but when you're 12 or 10 years old and you're looking at this, or even if you are, my age, I'm in 54, we look at this and we internalize that shame and anxiety. And it's like, oh, why can't I look that pretty? Why can't I look that good? This is what normal is, and this is not what normal is. But the real sort of filter that I think is the most important one that we can all use is empathy. It's by saying, how would I feel if this was my daughter in this ad, or my son, or my mother, or my sister? How would that make me feel? And that's the easiest, quickest way to know if that person is being used as a thing. Women are sexual beings, just like men are. That's the way we're made. So it's okay for us to be sexy. It's okay for us to be beautiful and pretty and want to be those things. But what isn't okay is when it gets weaponized to the point where it's no longer about being a woman. It's about being a thing. So now I'm going to show you a film where we showed objectifying images, ads to children. They were outdoor ads. We had their mother's permission, as most people don't. But anyway, so I'll let you take a look at this and then come back. Today, we are premiering a new film, which shows the impact objectification of women has on children.
I don't really know what that is. I'm not going to describe anything. I don't want to talk about it. It makes me feel uncomfortable. They're half naked. Cover your eyes, cover your eyes.
Makes me feel bad about my body.
It's kind of inappropriate for younger kids to see naked women in advertisements and stuff. I don't think it's okay to show a woman like that because, it's private.
I am asking everyone here today to please sign the petition and join us and encourage your colleagues to do the same.
It's about damn time someone stood up against these kinds of advertisements. It seems like it took such a long time for the business, the industry, no offense, to come up with this finally, but it seems like it's really changed quite dramatically. There were big changes implemented at Cannes Lion.
There is now a whole piece in it about objectification
But not only that, it's about the harm that is done when we stereotype, when women are treated as less than equal, and that the way to judge that is through empathy. Real change happens when people come together and take a stand. We have that power. We have the power to stop objectification of women in all that we do.
So empathy became the key at Cannes, where they literally changed the jury packets. And that was our ultimate goal, was that we wanted to go to Cannes, which is such an international festival, and talk to creatives about the harm that we are potentially doing to our children, to our mothers, and quite frankly, to men as well. It hurts men to not see women as whole, human, and strong. And that is exactly what happened this year. Last year, I was the president of the Glass Lion jury, and I actually saw this new jury packet printed and in place, and it was really a thrilling moment for me, for all of us. So I'd like to end by showing you one piece of work, and it's something that we did for Procter & Gamble, for Olay in North America, and it really shows the idea of a woman being whole, human, and strong, even in her beauty.
I've been called to a lot of things.
Too emotional?
I was always viewed as someone that was too ambitious.
Too opinionated.
Tell me that I was too strong.
Too fat.
Too bossy.
Too confident?
People have said that I'm too vulnerable.
Too short. Too tall.
Too defiant.
That I'm too driven.
I'm not too defiant.
Too loud, too outspoken, too energetic, too opinionated.
Too sassy?
Too everything.
I think too has a judgment attached to it.
When you say you're too something, it puts a negative connotation on it.
It's not like you're 100% something, it's like you're 500% something, and it seems like a bad thing.
People are not comfortable with those sort of traits when it's coming from a woman.
Oh, I just don't fit the box that you have in your mind, so what we'll have to do is just change your mind.
I am opinionated.
I'm vulnerable.
I am driven.
I am confident.
I am outspoken.
I am defiant.
I am strong.
And they loved it so much, they actually changed the tagline on the brand. So that concludes my presentation this morning. Thank you all so much for having me. I really appreciate it. Thank you.